I've always wanted a tattoo. I knew my parents would be pissed if if it was someplace they could see, and I didn't want to have something like they could see during the summer, like if I'm hanging out with the pool. So I figured on my butt was the safest place to put it. It was just something that we want to be spontaneous, spur of the moment. Let's get a tattoo on spring break. It'll be fun. I've always loved Will Ferrell. All the movies I own are Will Ferrell movies besides I think 21 Jump Street. I looked up a picture on the internet, tried to find a silhouette, black and white. I actually found a couple different tattoos. There was someone had Buddy the Elf tattooed on their forearm. Someone had Ricky Bobby. Other people had Anchorman. So I just found a black and white one that could just be Will Ferrell. I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I was staying with about 6 other guys in one of those old beach houses. My other friend wanted to get a tattoo, and he just got 2 fish hooks on his shoulder. And so that was about, gonna be $200. And when the tattoo artist came out, I threw the idea, and I was like, how would you feel about doing Will Ferrell? And he instantly fell in love with the idea. He was gonna do it for really cheap. He was like, I'll do both your guys' tattoos for $500, I think. And so that wasn't bad for 2 tattoos. We went ahead and did his first. His took probably 25 minutes. It wasn't very big. And then we started mine, and it was about a 2-hour ordeal. I didn't think it was to be that big. I looked back at it and it looked fine, and then after it was over, I was like, it's pretty big. But the outline didn't hurt, and then but when he started doing the shading, that was the part that kind of made you clench. It's a conversation starter, really. I mean, I can walk up to a group of people, and if it's awkward, just be like, so I have Will Ferrell on my ass, and then that's just a conversation starter, and so I love it. It's awesome. It's almost paid for itself in free drinks because people don't believe me. I'm like, all right, let's bet a shot or something, and they're like, all right, whatever. And so I just pull out my pants, and they're like, I guess I'll give you a shot. I've never had any shame. I've always been very extroverted, I guess. My parents don't know. I actually went home on my way home from spring break. I got it done Friday. We left Saturday morning, and then we stopped at my house on the way home, and they didn't know. They just kind of assumed it was a normal spring break of just drinking and fun, no tattoos. Maybe when I'm older and he's starting to sag, and just maybe by then he's like, what is that? And if he's dead by then, it'll be kind of weird. But that's an old actor. But other than that, I can't really think of regretting it.
Basically, I was getting drunk one night during spring break freshman year. It's very hard to remember, but I was taking a lot of shots, and I remember someone picked me up to go to Deep Ellum in Dallas, which is a big arts kind of tattoo bar district. It kind of pretty ghetto, and I don't really remember much, but I remember someone convincing me that if I got a tattoo, they would get one also. I think they were more sober than I was. That didn't happen. I got the tattoo. But I didn't know until the next morning. I woke up and I stepped out of bed and I thought I'd broken my foot. And I looked at my foot and there was all this bandaging and stuff on there, and it really hurt. But then I took it off and realized there was a pot leaf on my foot. What kind of tattoo is it? It's a Japanese maple because it looks like pot. Whenever I saw it, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was very surprised because I didn't really remember any of that happening the night before. I didn't really have a memory of it. So I just kind of woke up with a pot leaf on my foot and a very sore foot. Everyone laughed really hard, honestly. It was kind of a joke. Yeah, it sucked. It's pretty embarrassing. I keep my socks on most of the time. I'll never get a tattoo ever again. They're stupid. Because they're pointless. There's no point putting little drawings on your body, no matter how significant you think it is.
I got my tattoo my senior year, in December, right after my birthday. So as soon as I turned 18, I got one. It's a peacock with the word beloved, and the word beloved just means greatly loved. Whenever I realized there's a lot to me, then I realized I was beloved. And then the peacock, peacocks are ugly unless they open up their feathers and you see their inner beauty, and so that's kind of where that comes in. I don't regret it. It's my favorite tattoo. I don't know, I like it because it's original, and I don't see anybody else with that style of peacock on it. My mom actually went with me to get my first tattoo, and then she's just like, don't get any more, but I just like them so much. I guess it's kind of like an addicting thing. Like once you get one, you just like want more and more. They're just like yours, and it's like just like individualized. Like you can have whatever you want, and you can have it on you forever. I feel like tattoos are becoming the norm. Not that if you don't have a tattoo, then you're weird. But I feel like being tattooed's more acceptable in today's society than it was like a few years ago. If tattoos are for you, like you like tattoos and there's something that's meaningful or something that you like even like, I would say go ahead and get it. Like it's not that bad.
My first tattoo I got a little after high school. Like most bad decisions, it was because of a girl. I have this really fabricated story I normally tell them about like dealing with my mom. Like I like make it really sentimental so they don't mess with me about it. I used to in high school. I've always been pretty competitive, and I wanted to like diversify my skill set, I guess you could say. And I've always been pretty, I've always cared about making money. And seemed at the time, hanging around all these underage people, everybody, wants tattoos. So I was like, man, there's a market here. So I went out and with a buddy for his first tattoo, and the shop that he was at, they were selling a few machines and ink and needles and all this stuff. So I was like, hey, I'll give this a whirl. By this point, I'd already been pretty successful as far as like painting and art and whatnot. I felt like pretty confident in my ability to pick up tattooing. And so I bought machines, and then, everybody was just, I don't care, you can practice on me. I'd talk to artists, and they'd give me tips and hints, and then I'd start slinging ink and scarring people up a little bit. I had it in a tackle box set. I had about, like 20 different inks, colors of ink. All my needles were individually sterilized and packaged and sealed. And so I'd have those, and then like all my different tubes. Every person I tattooed got a new tube. And I'd just go wherever I went, I'd take it with me, just looking to make a buck. I was about 16, 17 when I bought the machines and the ink. So I know, so I'd just give myself my first 2 tattoos, I guess. I was just at a buddy's house, and I didn't really even know what to do because I didn't really have any ideas for tattoos at the time. So I just kind of signed myself, and then I let my other buddy kind of pick my second one, which it turned out to be an apple. I wouldn't do anything to anybody that I wouldn't first do to myself. It was kind of nerve-wracking, to say the least. You're dealing with, like, somebody else's body here. If you have to worry about going too deep and like scarring them, which that ruins the tattoo, and let's say they ever want to get it removed, you can't. I mean, the scars are always going to be there. That was something I really don't want to, people that know me buys tattoos, and in most job fields that I'm looking to go into, it's kind of frowned upon, looked down upon, that like having tattoos, unprofessional. I rebelled a little towards the end of high school, and different person than I am now. It's just something you have to live with for the rest of your life, or until you're always going to have a mark there, regardless if you get it removed or not. So if you can live with it, then I'm going to say go for it, but who you are today may not be who you will be tomorrow.